Good morning, dear students. From your first flight textbook, we are doing chapter Madam Rides the Bus. Won't your mother be looking for you? The conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. No, no one will be looking for me, she said. So the conductor gives Valli ticket for her return journey from town to village and he questions her that your family might be looking for you. But then Valli says that nobody would be looking for her. The bus started, and again there were the same wonderful sights. Wali wasn't bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. Now the bus started for its return journey from town to village, and Wali, who was seated on the window seat, she was all enthusiastic about the beauty all around for this bus ride, a return trip, though the things were the same, but then her excitement was no less, and she was again curiously looking out of the window. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicle. Now, when she was observing the beauty all around through the bus window, she notices the young cow and it was dead by the roadside, all in blood, and this cow might have been hit by a fast moving vehicle. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. The conductor nodded. So she questions conductor that it seems the same young cow who was running in front of the bus, that was running with the honk of the bus. So she questions this and the conductor agrees to it that yes, it's the same cow. And she was overcome with sadness. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread eagled, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. So she was altogether sad. Sad that a while ago she was all happy to see this cow jumping with the honk, getting frightened with the honk of the bus, and running in front of the bus. A beautiful, lively creature, and it was all dead with legs spread apart, with blood all around, and a fixed stare. And the sight was so horrible, and it was so frightening to see this beautiful cow all in blood that she was sad. The bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. She no longer wanted to look out of the window, and the bus headed to its journey, moved on, and the memory of the dead cow, it was haunting her. It was repeatedly returning to her mind the visuals of a happy cow, and then the same dead cow was coming to her mind, and then the enthusiasm of Valley was all dampened, that is, it became less. She was no more that much excited that she was at the beginning of the journey. And she no longer wanted to look out of the window. Now she did not wanted to look outside the bus window. She sat thus glued to her seat until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." So she was stuck to her seat and she was no more enjoying the views outside the window, and the bus reached the village by 3:40. Then at 3:40 she stood up and said to the conductor that she hopes that she is going to see the conductor again. Why? Because this was her desire to go for a bus ride. So might be a plan, might be that might again she would like to go for the same. Okay, madam, he answered her, smiling. Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us, and don't forget to bring your fare. She laughed and jumped down from the bus, then away she went, running straight for home. When Wali says that I hope to see you again, conductor in his own jolly and smiling way welcomes her, saying, "Okay, madam." And then this madam was again pulling her legs, saying that, "Madam, when you come for the bus ride again, you're welcome to join us, but then make sure you don't forget to bring your fare for the bus ticket. And then Valli, laughing at what the conductor said, jumps and goes straight to her home. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Valli's aunts, the one from South Street. This aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once she started talking. So when she returns home, she notices that the mother was awake. That is, all her planning regarding the bus ride had been turned fruitful. The mother did not come to know that Valli had been out for a bus ride, and she was talking to her aunt from South Street, and her aunt was a very talkative woman, a chatterbox, and was never quiet. And where have you been? Said her aunt when Wally came in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. So Wally just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. Now, this aunt, when she notices Wally coming inside the house, she questions Wally where she had been, but then she never expected an answer and kept her conversations with Wally's mother. Yes, you are right, her mother said. So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely, can we? So Wali's mother and Wali's aunt were talking about the things in outside world and things surrounding them, and they were talking that how it is possible to have a knowledge or notice about the things around happening around in society or life. And if somebody does notice, then it is very difficult to understand the thing, the situation, and circumstances around the same. Oh, yes, breathed Wali. What? Asked her mother. What's that you say? So Wali, who has heard this conversation between mother and aunt, agrees to their conversation. Mother was surprised to hear a yes coming from Wali, so she questions what you want to say. Oh, said Wali, I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening without our knowledge. So Wali says that I've overheard things, and I agree that there are many things that happen without the knowledge of people or us. Just a chit of a girl she is, said her aunt, and yet look how she pokes her nose into our conversation, just as though she were a grown lady. So the aunt was amazed with Wali's answer that she's taking interest in a conversation that does not concern her, not concerns her age. She's acting as if she's a grown up lady. Wally smiled to herself. She didn't want them to understand her smile, but then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? So Wali is smiling. Why? Because the ladies did not come to know that she had been out for a bus ride, and this is what the ladies were talking, that there's so much going around the world and they do not know about, they do not have the knowledge about. So Wali smiles at the conversation and what had happened in actual, and she didn't want the women, the mother and aunt, come to know the reasons for her smile and the secret of her bus ride. And there wasn't much chance of that, and there was no chance that they will learn about the same.